Activity 7. There are 5 questions. One of the questions we won't be answering because I forgot to include employment rates. So let's start with the first one. We are looking at unemployment rates and we are looking at immigrant status. So let's load our data. The data was posted on Layer. I'll open a blank Excel workbook and we will start the fun. So here we go. I'll go and get the data as we've been doing. Click on data, get data, and it's an Excel workbook. So I'll click on Excel workbook, go to my download folder and grab the data. So I'm going to click here to select the Excel, and because I know my data is clean, I'll just go to load. The normal procedure is to go to transform, but I'll click load because the data is clean and you can see it has all the right headings. Click load. It's going to load it in your Excel workbook. I'll click here to close this. I don't like this color, so I'm going to come here on the table design. I'll click the drop down and I'll take this. That's optional. So I want to start with the first question. I'll go to insert, pivot table, OK. Take value, put it under values, click on sum. When you are dealing with unemployment rate, you should always use average. Click on value field settings, average, number format, number, OK, OK. Date, put it under rows, immigrant status, put it under columns, add the slicer, click on insert slicer, labor force characteristics, sex, age group, OK. Place all of them there depending on your screen size. If you want, you can adjust things to make it look beautiful, but I don't care. I'll click on 15 years and over. We are dealing with unemployment rate. Click inside your data set, your pivot table analyze, pivot chart, and I will be using a line. It makes it clear. And an interesting question when you look at it is, why is it that those who immigrated more than 10 years ago basically have the same unemployment rate as those who were born in Canada? Meanwhile, those who immigrated between 5 and 10 years have a higher unemployment rate, and those who have been here for less than 5 years, they have the highest unemployment rate. So that is an interesting question to ask. And if you want to really drill down, you can click on this plus arrow and it's going to take you further, and you can even click more. So that is it for the first question. Let's go on to this. We said we will not do the second one because I forgot to include the employment rates. So let's move on to the third one. We are looking at labor force participation rate by age group. So let's do it. Click on labor force, insert, pivot table, OK. Value, under values, click on sum, value field settings, average, number, OK, OK. We said we were looking at age group, so we'll put age group here where we have columns. Date will be there. We will add slicers, immigrant status, labor force characteristics, sex, OK, and we can place everything there. Actually increase that. Here we go, and here we go. Now what are we interested in here? Participation rate by age group. So participation rate, and that's it. Click there. Pivot table analyze, pivot chart, line, okay. And here we have a chart. We can make it look better by getting rid of this empty space, make it start at 30. So I'm going to click there, right click, format axis, and make it start at 30. Now, this is interesting in the sense that you can see that from the perspective of participation rate, those who are 55 years and over in Canada, only this is the percentage of them who are participating in the labor force, and the highest group are those between 25 and 54. They have the highest participation rate. In other words, they pay the most taxes. Okay, let's move on to the next question. And if you're inquisitive, you can just click for those born in Canada, how it looks, landed 5 years or less, and so on. You can play with it, but at the end of the day, you still have to select all of them because that's what was demanded of you in this question. Let's go to the next one. It says we want to look at unemployment rate by sex. Okay, labor force, insert, pivot table, okay, value, sum, value field settings, average, number format, number, okay, okay, date where we have rows, sex where we have column, and insert slicer, immigration status, labor force characteristic, age group, okay, place it there. And now we are interested in unemployment rate, 15 years and above. Let's see, unemployment, male, female. So now click in there, pivot table analyze, pivot chart, lines, okay. And here we go. So it's interesting to see the differences. Now you can play around and see, is this relationship the same? Do you have more ladies unemployed compared to men if you only look at those born in Canada? So if you do that, you find that more men are unemployed compared to women for those born in Canada, which is different from those who immigrated. And at the end of the day, when you combine all of them, you find that overall, this is the relationship. An interesting question is, why is it like that? Let's go to the last one. We are looking at participation rate across immigrant status. So we go to labor force, insert, pivot table, okay, date where we have row, value, values, sum of value, value field setting, average, number format, number, okay, okay, immigrant status, insert slicer, labor force, sex, average, okay, put this there, next one there, and there we go. It was saying participation rates, so you click on participation rate, 15 years and over. Why do we always take 15 years and older? It's because all the other ones are already included within this. So we click in there, pivot table analyze, pivot chart, take the line, okay. And now we can actually get rid of the empty space. Click on the y-axis, right click, format axis, and you can make sure it starts at 55 and hit enter. There we go. So this is interesting because you can see the participation rate. Now you can choose to take a look. Yeah, so you can see the participation rate based on when people on the immigration status. So you can click on the plus sign to get a drill down. It's up to you. Okay, I think that's it. One of the things you should remember to do, put it on a Word document. You do not need to print it in color, but if you want, do that. However, make sure your document looks beautiful, and above all, try to include in your analysis what may be the reason why you find what you are seeing. So not only state what you see, but what may be the reason. Have fun.